Hello and welcome to this week's Roker Report Podcast. Hopefully you all had a wonderful bank holiday weekend, made all the sweeter by witnessing a rare Sunderland win at the Stadium of Light. I'm your host James Copley, and joining me this week is the one and only Connor Bromley.
Hello.
With some terrible wraparound sunglasses.
What?
These are decent. You look like some sort of like
I'll put them on. Take
American
a picture
dad.
on Twitter. I disagree.
I can't have her. I'll drop your phone.
Do you know why I've
I
got to
dropped
wear
your phone
them?
in the bath, so got low.
No, I'll take a selfie. Do you know why I've got them? It's because I was getting headaches when I was driving.
But you look ridiculous.
No, I don't. Well, hang on.
Hang on.
Yeah.
And joining us for his first appearance on the podcast is the Padster, Paddy Hollis. How are you, mate?
Hello there, I'm good, thanks. I'm excited.
And how do you think Connor looks in his glasses?
I mean, you didn't actually have them on outside when I saw him, but now that we're inside, they're not really...
Yeah, I wasn't wearing them until James said.
I might need to see them outside first. I don't
I
want to
think that's a polite way of him saying they're shy.
They're practical. You've got to have sunglasses when you drive when it's sunny, because otherwise you get glare and it's not nice.
That's safety, isn't it?
Aye.
Buy some better ones.
No, these were like £17.
I think mine are better.
Yours look shit. You fucking pretend to be a Beatles star or something.
Well, yeah, it's better than fucking soccer guy from America. What hat are you wearing?
New York Giants.
Although I do like the third charcoal kit that you're wearing that Sunderland have played in about twice.
Twice? I thought it was only once.
Maybe once.
We did it at Preston. I remember.
Yeah, we definitely played at Preston.
Have we worn it since then, or?
Probably not.
No.
It's a nice shirt though.
It is. It's nice for a summer's day, apart from the fact it's black, so the heat comes on.
So not really nice for some.
Yeah, not really.
Right. Anyway, on to the performance. This weekend we did something no other Championship team has managed to do, and we avoided defeat against the league champions Wolves. And it's pretty typical of Sunderland, really, isn't it? Already relegated, then the pull-up performance out the back. Stuart Donald was in the crowd. Bally Mumba came on.
Not in a pink seat.
Not in a pink seat, aye.
No, he's already breaking promises.
And it's all looking a bit rosy, isn't it? Now, Paddy?
Yeah. I think it was the best way we could have ended the season, really. After there's this thing about us being so poor at home, and then to go out and beat the league champions, as you say, it's typically Sunderland, but it's exactly what we needed going into the new season. New sort of turn over a new leaf and start afresh next season. It's really exciting.
Brom.
Reminded me a bit, now obviously the swear jaw's not here, but it reminded me a bit of Newcastle's 5-1 win against Spurs.
Do you know when
they went down? Well, they went down, we relegated them, it was all happy days. Yeah, and then the had that final day, the hammered Spurs were 5-1, and then
Spurs didn't finish in the
they got that momentum for the next season.
Did Newcastle have 10 men as well for most of that game or something?
Yeah, they did. Mitrovic got sent off.
Because Wijnaldum and Sissoko just decided to start playing for the first time that season.
Well, actually, Wijnaldum was really good at home. He just couldn't play away, if you remember.
I remember him getting 5 against Norwich and never getting anything else. Now he's scoring in fucking Champions League semi-finals.
That was the week before one of the 3-0s at the Stadium of Light. And he was saying, I remember him saying, like, in the build-up, like, I'm going to get like another 4 at the weekend, and then he just didn't make an appearance. He's never showed up.
But yeah, I think it was good, and I think also felt a bit symbolic because there were so many youngsters playing, so many players that we think are going to be pillars of the team next year.
The kids are all right, to quote the Who.
Then we've got definitely my second favourite Paddy in the room as well.
Aye, well, Paddy McNair, you put a tweet out there, Connor, saying we should build around him, we should keep him.
I agree.
He should be club captain.
I spoke sense.
Will you agree with your own tweet?
I spoke sense. I spoke a lot of sense.
I completely agree with that, because if we can keep him, and I don't know is he one of the ones who wants to stay, or
who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, so obviously if he ends up staying, which will be perfect for us, we definitely need to just give him the armband.
Do you think we can keep him?
Of course we can.
Do you think?
I think
there'll be a lot of teams probably in the Championship who'll might be able to get him on the cheap, but hopefully.
Speaking to Ian Murtaugh of the Express and the Star, he said that there's already been a couple of inquiries about him. Like,
it's not surprising. I think he's a borderline Premier. If I was a Premier League team and was going up, I would try and get him off something like nab him for about 5-6 million.
He'd fit in well at Burnley or something.
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
I think also you'd probably fit well at like Cardiff.
Yeah, but fuck Cardiff.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit disappointed.
If you're listening, Dad, fuck you.
Very disappointed.
Dad's a Cardiff fan, and he's not said anything about the.
Does he just walk around touching his head all the time?
What, sorry?
Does he walk around touching his head all the time?
No. He doesn't. But Luke Molyneux got the start after Lualua pulled up at the warm-up.
Should we talk a little bit about Lualua? About, what are people's views on keeping him or getting rid of? I think it's a blind and obvious decision.
Yeah, that sums up his Sunderland career. The fact that he was in line to finally start, and then he got injured in the warm up. I think that's symbolic of his time at Sunderland, and he needs to go. I think.
We've had injury-prone players at the club for too long, but you could level that at Paddy McNair and Duncan Watmore, but at least they've shown stuff to warrant the contracts. But I don't really see what Lawalawa's done.
Nah.
It's a bit of a difference though. McNair and Watmore have had like their knees ripped to shreds, whereas
and they are fairly young. Whereas Lawalawa's got 29 or something like that.
Got the youth on the side, still haven't they really?
And he's a mag. Not that I'm bothered, but he's a mag.
So are you're from fucking Blythe?
I'm not a mag, I'm Northumbrian. Oh. How many times do I have to go through this?
No, it's fine.
Fucking Welshman from Hendon.
Yeah,
criticising me.
I'm Welsh, you're Northumbrian, whatever.
Yeah, but I actually am.
Fucking mag.
And Paddy's not Irish.
I was born in Sunderland, so...
There you go. Connor wasn't.
I wasn't.
I was.
Who cares?
Me.
I was born in Ashton.
Weird. That's proper mag territory.
The hospital. Ashton's not. Ashton's 50-50.
I don't know about that.
No, it genuinely is. Ashton's 50-50.
You're flirting. Right, anyway.
You can't if you even shut up.
How good was Molyneux? Could he contribute next season? I think he can. I know Gav, our managing editor, has been a massive proponent of starting him sooner. And I made the point a couple of podcasts ago and was ridiculed by Conor Bromley. The kids should start. We should just do away with the ex-pros, but apparently we weren't allowed to do that because...
I don't think I...
Oh, yes. Well, listen back. We weren't allowed to do that because we pay the wages. We'll have to play them, was your argument. I can't remember which pod it was, but...
Well, I can't remember saying that.
Well, you did. I was listening back the other day.
It sounds very Jimmy Lawson-y.
Oh, God, don't mention him.
But... No, I think I've generally been an advocate of playing the young players. I certainly remember whinging about the fact we were playing loan players from other clubs and we've got our own young players.
I'm going to find the podcast back and...
I think you're wrong. I genuinely think you're wrong because I don't think I said that.
You did. I can't remember which podcast it was on. Since we're allowed to do this sort of reflection thing, because it's like a season review, isn't it? Like...
Reflect on all the times. And Lewis Graven can't drum.
I think it was when Culkin was in. Was it
Culkin?
No, I don't know.
I barely got a word in edgeways there, man. I was listening.
Anyway, I can't remember, but I'm nitpicking really. Robbie Stockdale. Any good?
I think he
Is it the third time he's been caretaker or second or something? But
I think it's his second run. It might be his third game.
That must be the first game he's won though. But that shouldn't.
Well, we played. I think he took charge of the Millwall home game as well.
He had Borough.
And he had Borough where we played all right and actually got beat. So he's picked up 4 points for 3 games, I think. But somebody will tell us I'm wrong. But
did he have us to the tail end of the Moyes season? No,
Moyes stayed.
He stayed, didn't he?
Yeah, he resigned like the day after the last game or something.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And then he wrote off the money owed to him.
How much do we read into Fletcher's celebration running over to Stockdale? I didn't really see anything.
I don't really read much into it. I don't know.
No, I mean, I know that there's been, I would like to have him back, and I know that there's been sort of some speculation that he might come back again on loan. And I think a few weeks ago I would have said you're okay, but in recent games I think he's been really well. So
he could probably do with a spell in League One, I think. But
I'd have him again.
I think he's got a bit of an ego, to be honest. I doubt he'd move.
I'd have him again, but I want us to own our own players for once.
That's true.
Yeah,
I actually think Fletcher I could see him ending up at Cardiff. I know I'm just going to link every crap player to Cardiff, but I can just see him at Cardiff. Sort of striker that Neil Warnock will mould into something.
I do, but I also think that he's just not. Like, he struggled against sort of Championship centre-halves. I think against the Premier League, he's just going to get...
I don't think he was ever deployed correctly. We were trying to force him to be a target man. I think it's patently obvious he was never really a target man. He's just tall.
Yeah, that's him. He was quite fast for his height, because you don't usually associate them two things with the same player, but yeah, he did have a surprising turn of pace.
Yeah, he did. And that he had a run at the weekend where he blitzed a few players and he very fiery shot over the top, which is standard. Even his goal was well taken,
Yeah, I just remember against was it Preston or was it Brentford when he was through on goal and it just bounced off his knee?
It was
Brentford.
I think that was Brentford.
Brentford at home.
Yeah,
it was Brentford at home.
That's my overriding memory.
He also missed a sitter at Bristol City away. Well, it was a great save, but it was a sitter where the ball Loire took a shot. It came back to him and he just hit it at the keeper.
Wasn't that a 3-3 as well?
Yeah.
Wasn't that to win it?
That could have turned our whole season around.
Could have. But I think this has been a season of false dawns. We've had so many false dawns. It's been ridiculous. I mean, I think if we're going to reflect now on the Coleman era, is the Coleman era looked on as a missed opportunity?
Missed opportunity, I think, yeah. And big up Mr. Coleman, who honoured his commitment to the Bradley Lowry Foundation and went for a bike ride.
Did he actually go? Because I couldn't see him on the
today.
picture.
There was a picture
posted on
did he have a picture, did he?
Him and Martin Bain. Martin Bain looked extremely awkward.
He did,
Well,
yeah.
I think that the staff at Sunderland, particularly Martin Bain, I think a lot of the press side of things, I think it'll probably be under question, like, because I wouldn't be surprised to see wholesale changes on that front.
Well, I think it's been alluded to, hasn't it?
Yeah, and I think Stuart Donald's been hanging about with a PR guy as well, and they'll be wanting to, I'd say, put a more positive stamp on and not wish Shea given a happy birthday. And
Yes. Right, John O'Shea retrospective views. That might be his last appearance.
Well, I think certainly for me, it's
you tend to speak for you. Like.
I was going to say for everyone, but I was like, I think I'm probably wrong, so I changed it, and then you call us out on it. But I think I've had a roller coaster with John O'Shea. Like, I loved him to begin with, and then I soured off him a little bit in like the Di Canio era, and then I came back around to liking him, and then I thought he was unfortunate, really, to be in a shit team. And then I thought this year he was poor, but I had to play him. But overall, I just feel a bit sorry for him. I think he could have done so much more with the last 6 years of his career.
I think history might be a bit kinder to him than the present. I mean, like he captained a team at Wembley.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was around for a long time. Isn't he our record Premier League appearance holder as well?
He will be now, yeah.
And I think he's the most internationally capped player ever to play for Sunderland as well.
He's won the Champions League and all sorts.
Yeah, so I think history might be a bit kinder to him. And he recently donated a shirt he wore in a Mags win and his cup final walkout jacket to the SAFC Museum. It's quite nice of him.
Yeah,
and I think he was the only player to turn up to that.
Yeah, he was.
I think the whole squad was supposed to go, but I think he was the only one that turned up. I think a lot's been said about John O'Shea and speculated about his negative influence on the dressing room, but whenever you speak to anybody that's dealt with him, it's always positive and glowing. And I'm sorry, but how many managers has he had? Bruce, Di Canio, Martin O'Neill, Poyer, Advocat, Coleman, Simon Grayson, and then throw in Kevin Ball, Stockdale as well. None of them have ever thrown him under the bus. And he can't.
Apart from Di Canio.
Apart from Di Canio. Everybody else you speak to, even the journalists, Colkin, Keith Downey,
they all like
Murder, they always say he's a model professional.
And I think him and Catmull also get that sort of thrown at them. Like, it's not them. People always say they're the solution, not the problem. I think ultimately they've been here for too long. It's got a bit stale, and I think both parties. I think John O'Shea's got another season in him. Would I be against him come back to Sunderland? Probably not. But I think for him, he should probably move. But he might be settled up here. He might have his family up here and stuff. He might not want to. I wouldn't be against him staying.
He could have gone to Wolves.
He could have. And they probably think he's class as well because he's kept 2 sheets against them. They probably think, oh God, we should have had him in the summer.
No, I think, he's obviously, as you say, he has been around Sunderland for a long time. I think, obviously, no matter what your opinions on him, you've got to think he has been so professional at his time at Sunderland. And, he's been, he's been part of defences which he doesn't deserve to be, really. He does deserve better.
And Michael Turner, Titus Bramble, some of his defensive colleagues, Anton Ferdinand. Kyriakos. Christ.
It was what came up with it was on that Premier League years, and it was when we drew 3-3 with them, and we were leading 3-1, and then Kyriakos came on. It was unbelievable. Yeah, I think it'll be sad to see the end of O'Shea. I mean, I think, he's never been outstanding for us, but he's always been, like I said before, professional. And I also think, I know this is probably quite a controversial view, but whenever he's played, I've always thought like our back four just looks a bit more organised. Because it's how, I mean, the Burton game, when he came off, and then was it and Clark Salter came on?
Aye, and everything went to shit.
That's happened a couple of times.
Yeah, and I mean, he's not like outstanding, but that that's got to be a bit of evidence that he probably was our best centre half this season. I think
best organiser, even though his legs had gone.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
He put in his programme notes on Sunday. I sincerely hope that everything that makes this club so special shines through on and off the pitch. I might not be back, but Sunderland will be. That's good.
I think when you spend so much time at a club, and you do share some good times as well as bad ones. I think you do grow that affinity, and I think John O'Shea does care. I just think we as fans have endured such a horrible time while he's been in the club, so he's always going to take criticism. I think it's not even unfair criticism in a lot of ways. I mean, I don't think he was part of the rotten core. I don't know if there is a rotten core, but I don't think he was. But you look at it, and it's been a shit time, and he's been part of the club when they've basically been winning at most 8-9 games a season, and when that happens, you're always going to be in for stick. So it's unfortunate that that's the way his career sort of went, but I think ultimately Sunderland fans are at least have respect for him.
Because I mean, it's quite rare really that you have, obviously in the modern game, of players sticking around for that long, and obviously having O'Shea around for sort of, was it 6-7 years?
Signed under Bruce or 09.
Bruce signed
2011 he will have signed.
Yeah. So I mean, that is still quite a long time for somebody who was at Man United for so long as well. And I think it's unfortunate, as you said, that he's been part of such a poor side, and it just makes you wonder if he'd gone to another team. Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
You know,
what Phil Neville did.
Yeah, exactly what he could have done with another fairly good team.
This weird sad man on Twitter did a Sunderland statistic thread. It was very good, but I mean, you know,
sad Michael Bastard.
Anyway, Conor Bromley, most minutes this season, George Honeyman with 3,310, followed by John O'Shea with 3,080, and then Campbell with 3,033.
I think people were surprised to see the not Honeyman, but I think John O'Shea and Campbell, because people have got an impression that they're like injured all the time.
Most shots, Aidan McGeady with 76, Graben with 46, and then Honeyman with 45. Most shots on target, Graben with 23, McGeady with 21, Honeyman with 15. I mean, it's sad that Graben left in January and he's still up there.
His last game was in December.
Yeah, I remember seeing that he put on that he didn't play for us in 2018.
Yeah.
Most key passes, McGeady with 57, Honeyman with 48, Oviedo with
it's not
47, isn't it?
Yeah, it's one belief. I had a typo on that one.
Most assists. People will be pretty surprised to see Katz is tied with Aidan McGeady at 5.
I think assists is a bit of a false stat, though, isn't it? Because
it is when you get relegated.
Yeah, but I think in general we need to change that assist, because it's meaningless really, because you could just get lucky that the ball deflects off you and goes to someone that counts as an assist.
It could be like a player's beat 3 defenders and put the ball in the box straight on the centre forward's head, or it's just a pass what the defenders missed.
I mean, if you think Paul Scholes has only got 80 assists or something in his career, you think though his balls are the ones before, and he gets no credit.
Secondary ball, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, team stats, goals per game 1.1. That's poor. That really is poor. Average possession 48%, pass accuracy 71.9, shots per game 11.6, tackles per game 17.6. That doesn't seem a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if that includes missed tackles.
You wrote the fucking stats.
No, I know. It's just difficult to know what they mean by.
Dribbles per game 11.7. We ranked third bottom in offensive stats. Shots on targets, shots and dribbles. We ranked 7th in regards to saves with 135, and allowed the 9th most shots per game with 13.4. If you think in regards to 135 saved from our keepers, how many did they let in?
To be fair, the one list that they didn't actually put on was how many goals were conceded. I don't actually know how many we ended up.
It must be
letting in the end.
High 70s, low 80s, I think.
This is a goaling stat. We have dropped 28 points from winning positions this season, the most in the division.
That's how many have we dropped in about the last 6 games?
It is all as well, pretty much. I think it's about 12 points.
Yeah, it was out 4 or 5 games in a row. We'd just take the lead and it's we're not going to win.
And despite that, there was still been 635,000-ish people passed through the turnstile at the stadium.
Yeah, I think we were 14th in the country for attendance this year.
Ahead of 7 Premier League
Some
clubs.
mag was like, yeah, but how many were actually there? And I was like, well, I don't know. They've got to publish the number of sold. What difference does it make?
Did you see Michael? What's he called? Michael Martin, True Faith guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Bank Holiday Monday, analysing fucking Sunderland's potential finances with a year's.
I liked it where he's like, sum it up in one word, fucking catastrophic. I'm like, that's actually 2 words, Mara.
Yeah. It's like, firstly, what are you doing that on a Bank Holiday Monday? Secondly, the financial information's a year out of date.
But yeah, it's sort of irrelevant. I think any sort of. We did one on Roker Report, but it was more like explanation of what had happened rather than a looking ahead. You can't learn anything because he's wrote off the debt and we don't know what the new owner's going to do.
Another difference, like for when Roker Report did it, like that was sort of about the team we follow, not our arch rivals. That's what I just don't understand.
It's odd, isn't it? Because we literally, I mean, we've been part of Roker Report now for what? Me and you just over a year, pretty much. And I follow Roker Report, Love Supreme, Wise Men Say, and even like We Are Wearside, all them. You see now about Newcastle?
Nah.
Yeah.
Absolutely nothing. I think Roker Report did one thing when they went down, but in all fairness, we did relegate them, so we kind of had to report on it.
Yeah.
Because it was directly affected.
Bit of an angle, isn't it, that?
Yeah, it's the angle. We relegated the Mags. Of course you're going to write about it.
So you can't not write about that, really.
It just seems... I would say weird that all the Newcastle fanzines are focusing, and even the Chronicle does it. Like the Chronicle probably had baits for.
I think it's just because they've had a pretty mundane season. Like they've had high points, like beating United at home and stuff like that. But apart from that, it's just been pretty run of the mill, hasn't it?
Yeah, they had a bit of a rough, early start of the season where they might be going down. But yeah, they have had a bit of a. Do you know what? I can go on them. Like they've had a decent run, and I think Rafa's done a class job.
I think Lascelles should go to the World Cup.
I do. I don't think Shelby should.
No, I think Shelby's a dick. But anyway, less on the Mags because we do not want to turn into Roker Report's Michael Martin.
One final thing on them is the fact that they haven't even released their own accounts. So what are they hiding there, Michael? Aye.
You'll find out.
Mike Ashley be hides money at the bottom of his sock drawer. That man. He does. 0 hour comebacks. Right, we're going to take a quick break. Right, welcome back to the second part of the last podcast of the 2017-2018 season.
Yeah, before we enter the summer season.
Yes.
I don't know what the schedule is.
Who fuck knows?
People probably wondering.
I am joined by Bromley and Padster. Manager latest, Chris Wilder was emotional as he appeared to be waving goodbye to the fans at Sheffield United. Obviously he's a Sheffield United fan, and it's looking more and more likely that he will be the man to take charge. If he does sign, how much of a coup would this be for Sunderland?
I'm going to put like a hot take, a steaming hot take. Chris Wilder won't be our manager. He's using it for a bargaining position with the Sheffield United board.
Do you think?
100%. Would he leave a champion? Basically, if he goes
They've done well this season as well.
Yeah, they have, right. So if he leaves Sheffield United for Sunderland, he's basically going to be where he was with Sheffield United when he took them over. Big club that's in League One. So he'll get us up. So he's already then going to be a year behind where he was. He's essentially 2 years behind himself. And then the odds of him going up first season in the Championship are slim.
And he's got that like magic thing in football with Sheffield United. There's momentum.
Don't leave.
He's got momentum.
Yeah, don't leave.
Well, I used to watch Northampton a lot because I used to live down there, and he was manager there, and he won the League 2 title with them. And then the sort of same thing happened where he got them promoted. Then literally about 2 weeks later, he got the Sheffield United job, and he made such a big thing about going to it's like where he's from, with the team who he supports. Yeah, and I'm in the same boat. I'm just thinking like, why is he gonna just give it a couple of years? If he can keep the squad together and build on it, he could get them around the playoffs in the Championship the next 2 or 3 years. I mean, they were not too far away this season.
I think that's why he wants to go, isn't it? Because they didn't back him in January. But I mean, you look at it, it's a hard league to get out of, but I think you can get out if you suppose you have them a wee bit of luck along the way. Like, I mean, we'll talk about Warnock again. It seems to be coming up. But he's took Cardiff up on a shoestring, and he's brought in players that didn't, make the grade elsewhere. Sometimes you can't do it without, doing a Newcastle and spending 60 million.
Where would you see Coleman landing next? It's been muted that Ipswich may be a possible destination.
Probably makes sense, Ipswich. I think they were saying Sheffield United as well if Wilder does leave. That
would be bizarre.
I think
it would be, but
I think he'd do alright at Ipswich because he's got quite again, obviously not a great amount of money to spend, but they're quite a stable team. I think they finished 12th, I think, this season. So
yeah,
they were they were never sort of here or there.
I reckon they'll unravel since Mick McCarthy's gone. I really think they'll unravel.
They had it so good with him.
He's been the glue.
He was there a long time, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he's there a long time, and his net spends about fucking £200,000. He's spent hardly anything.
But that's pretty much wherever he's gone though. Like, he's never had any massive amounts of money.
Back, does he? I think he's probably the net spend will be negative. I think the big players that they've sold, Mings and Cresswell and all. Yeah. So he's constantly had his best players sold from beneath him.
I'd have Mick McCarthy back.
Well, we was it last week we had this? Yeah, McCarthy would be my personal favourite. I don't think we should go down the route of a former player. Like, as much as I love Kevin Phillips, I just don't think it's right.
No, he hasn't got the relevant experience yet, has he?
Yeah.
I would like him as a number 2. That's probably the highest position I'd want him at the club, I think, at the minute. But not as a
I think too, though, one of the reasons he's stayed in he's played for like every Midlands club and been a coach at every Midlands club is because he doesn't want to move from there because he's settled. So I think there probably isn't much. I think if Phillips was going to be a manager at Sunderland, it'll probably be 5-6 years down the line when he's got A, more experience, and B, his kids have probably grown up.
I don't want him to take it. It would be a good emotional appointment to start with, but managerial cycles, even successful managerial cycles in the modern day age of football, last like 2 or 3 years tops. Look at Conte. You know what I mean? Like Guardiola spent 3-4 seasons at Bayern Munich. They get burnt out and they leave, and that's the successful ones. Like Kevin Phillips is not going to last that long, and when he leaves, it's probably going to be because he hasn't performed well.
Not many managers leave on a positive note.
Exactly, and that's going to tar his legacy.
Arsene, who got kicked out of Arsenal, and then they pretend that they loved him.
It's been quite a poor last season from us, hasn't it? I mean, I don't think anybody can argue that.
For Arsene?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's earned the right. I mean, Arsenal before him were a mid-table Premier League team.
Aye, yeah, they were playing absolutely shite football.
Yeah, so I mean, he's moved them on. He's given them the new Arsenal way of playing.
He moved football on in this group.
Didn't he win the league with them like in his second season?
Yeah,
that takes some doing that.
I think it was a double as well, or the season after was a double.
Yeah,
the one he won it 3 times. Yeah, he won it 3 times, and he won it. I think he won a double in 2002.
Just googling. Hang on.
Yeah, Google it. Go on.
Talk amongst yourselves.
You don't smile. He said talk. Paddy, come on. You found it up yet?
No, it was a shame about Ferguson, man, wasn't it?
Yeah, but he's right now.
Yeah, he's up talking, but it was it was a shame.
Yeah, it sounded pretty bad.
That's decent. It is good. I did feel it's one of them where Fergie's always been like part of my life. He's just always
institute. I've always quite liked him as well.
Yeah, he says what he.
That's for me. Like it's the same with Wenger. I'd say whenever just like it's the first next season will be the first season like in my life where Fergie and Wenger aren't going to be managers in the Premier League. It's just like
it's
a complete end of an era.
But the next manager is Tisdale at Exeter. He's going to be the longest serving. He's been there since 2006.
Jesus. Well, Arsenal won the Premier League 3 times, obviously unbeaten in 03-04, and they've won the FA Cup about fucking 8 times, 7 times with Wenger. Community Shield.
They've never won the League Cup though.
No, he never did.
They lost that
final in Birmingham. Yeah,
Craig
Gardner.
Yeah, over Femi Martin's one.
He got the winner. Craig Gardner was in the
50-year-old.
Anyway, back to matters of Sunderland. What? Hang on. What have we got here?
Macam matters.
Only 3 want to stay. Apparently, we are not allowed to mention specific names according to my producer's notes.
You can guess.
News reported by Roker Report on our website claims that only 3 members of the season's first team squad want to stay. Which players would you like to see stay, and which simply must go? Well, I think Paddy McNair.
Oh, well, actually, I've got the list. I'll get the team and the bench from Saturday. I'll go through. So, Jason Steele. Are we happy with him being there next season?
I mean, he doesn't inspire confidence, but
he's having the right end of the season.
Wants to stay.
Since he came back in, I think was it the Burton game he came back. I mean, he's done all right for what he has to do. I don't think there was much he could have done for Burton's goals, for example.
Nah, I think he's putting 3 solid performances. I think he's a confidence keeper, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's on. Has he got another 2 years in his contract?
Yeah, he's on like 15 grand.
He signed quite a long contract, didn't he?
I thought he signed a 3-year deal.
Oh, so he's got 2 left in that one.
So yeah, I think
quick maths.
Aye.
Yeah, I'll be more than happy to see him still.
We accept that probably Oviedo will be away.
Well, apparently he's been touting himself all over the place in the South American media. So.
I imagine he's away. Which, to be fair, I like Oviedo, but he's
much of a must.
Just never seems to like. He looks decent, and sometimes I'm like, yeah, he is a good player, but he just
against Millwall.
Yeah, he just makes mistakes. Yeah. Matthews, I think, is a logical stay.
Yeah, but
I like Adam Matthews.
I don't know how long he's got his contract. He signed under Advocate. He might only have a year left.
I reckon we should give the captaincy to Ballymumba though, and just let him miss double.
Well, we'll get on the future captain or the current captain, technically.
Well, yeah.
End of the last game.
Our last captain.
Mark Wilson out of contract in the summer.
Oh, he's got to go away.
Please go away.
Ajaria
as possible.
Scored, but go away. Not interested.
I think he'll end up at another championship team on loan.
I think he'll end up at Rangers under Gerrard.
Aye.
Yeah.
I've just written a bit about Gerrard at Rangers. I think he's on a hiding at nothing, mate.
Yeah, I think it's a good move.
I don't know. What can he realistically achieve?
The only thing you can go there for is like just to try and finish above Celtic, and that's just.
For me, if Steven Gerrard by some miracle manages to stop Celtic getting to 10 in a row, which is the fabled thing in Scotland, isn't it? 10 titles in a row. If he manages to do that, then he's pulled off a miracle. If he manages to win a Scottish Cup, he's pulled off a miracle.
They've done this share thing. They're basically selling shares to raise £6 million, which will obviously be his transfer. And if £6 million is what they're looking at, then it's just not enough, is it?
I just think the poor blokes and I had nothing. Anyway.
We've got Jaria, Paddy McNair. I think we've all said we want him to stay, but I mean, how much money would it take?
How long has he got left in his contract?
He's got at least 2 years, unless he signed a 5. If he signed a 5-year deal, he's got 3 years. Yeah. But he's going to have 2 or 3 left. I can't imagine they would have signed a young Paddy McNair and give him a 3-year deal.
Paddy Magnificent.
No, I think McNair will be big for. I think get a pre-season behind him and he'll be.
Just needs to stay fit. I think Watt Morris is obviously still going to be around because he's injured, isn't he? So
yeah. We'll not be able to get rid of him.
I wouldn't want to anyway.
I think Ethan Robson. I've been a big fan of him.
I've liked the look of him. Yeah,
I think he got harshly kicked out the team. Well, not kicked out, but harshly dropped under Coleman and never seemed to get back in. But I rated him from the moment he started. I like how, firstly, he's physical. He's a strong player.
Let's get physical.
We're gonna get physical.
That's better than the Mick McCarthy impression, that.
I'm not even going to try.
No, don't bother.
I'm not going to do it again. No, Robson, I think he's a strong player. He's a good 5-10 yard pass.
He does the simple things well, doesn't he?
Yeah. To be fair, he did a good ball at the weekend. I saw him play a nice over the top ball, so maybe he has got that in him. So Robson, I think, probably, are we all in agreement that he should be a building block next season?
Yes.
Definitely, yeah.
Yes.
I think if we've got a midfield next season of McNair and Robson, I think that's a fantastic place to start.
I think
this might be controversial, but I'd sell Asoro and Madja and reinvest.
It's a dagger to my heart selling Asoro.
I think he's got. He knows he's better than League One, man. He's not going to put up.
Yeah, but if you can get Asoro signed up to a new deal.
Don't get me wrong. Like, if we can keep him, brilliant. But I think we're good. Sell him and spend. I reckon we could get 5-6 million from him.
He's worth more than that to me.
Just load it full of fucking sell-on clauses and such like, and sell him. Get rid.
No.
He's a bit of a prima donna anyway.
He's only an 18, 19-year-old kid, man. You don't want to be. I understand if they did sell him for that sort of money, but I think with the new ownership, they don't want to be selling the player that I think, along with McNair, should be the biggest building block. He's a great player, and he's only going to get better. You put him in League One, he's going to be scoring goals. I know he's only scored 3 goals this season. He probably should have scored more. Yeah, I think if you're going to have a knock on him, it's the fact that he struggles to put it in. But I think,
well, don't we all?
I'm losing my train of thought then. He could probably do with the spell in League One just as much. I know he's done well in the Championship, but are we realistically going to be getting the money that we want for a player who scored 3 goals?
I think it'll be, if he has a season in League One as well, it'll be a good experience for him because he's going to be coming up against some pretty no nonsense defenders who if he tries any of the slick stuff, they're just going to just
kick him up in the air.
Yeah, just get physical on him really, and I think that'll help him because then obviously he'll know from then on that's what happens.
I think too, if a Championship team probably won't buy him because they're not going to spend their budget on a prospect. A Premier League team probably won't buy him because he's not Premier League ready. So I think we're going to either undersell him, sell him for a silly price, or it'll have to be the other way, sell him for an inflated one and somebody thinks it's better than what it is. I personally just don't think it's worth selling him.
You might be right.
Molyneux?
Keep.
Definitely keep.
Yeah, keep. I think he's going to be another building block next season.
Keep going.
Fletcher.
I would have him back, but I would rather us have our own player. If it's a choice between owning our own player and having Fletcher back, I'd rather own the player and try and work it that way. But if there's no other option,
I think Borrell will try and flog him. He's on 45,000 a week. Yeah. We're not going to be able to contribute to his wage, and if they want even 10%,
we don't pay anything to his wage.
That's what I'm saying. We're not going to be able to. So
see, I thought when we signed him that we would.
I thought it was the deal. I've got to pay these full wage.
I think he's not going to end up. He won't play for Middlesbrough. Well, maybe again. I don't think. He'll be out somewhere else next season. And
his fall's stark, man. Like, he was at United, he moved to West Ham for big money, and it's just not worked for him anywhere.
I think he felt that he was deserving of games, so he went for West Ham.
Oh, yeah.
Denver Hume came on, substitute.
Keep.
Yeah, you got to keep the young guys. I've been really impressed with Embleton when I've seen him for the under 23s, and
keep him.
Definitely.
I think if the actual midfield options look decent for next year, the amount of
and they're going to
solid
improve
players.
playing in League One.
Be interesting to see how the lineup, because I suppose the natural thing in that sort of league is probably go 4-4-2, but I wonder if we'll be a
4-4-2.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll be more of a 4-5-1 because we've got so much midfield quality, especially if we have Paddy McNair, who looks like he could contribute probably 20 goals a season.
He's good at running on, isn't he? He's like in the Lampard kind of.
That goal he scored the weekend was messy.
Yeah, that was nice.
Just fantastic.
Dribbled it past somebody, they went there and just knocked it in past the
Yeah,
keeper.
if we can get in a position where he can sometimes have like a free role in games, he'll bang them in for fun in League One, I think.
And if Watmore gets fit, the pace. Well, I suppose will he have the pace though?
I still think Watmore has other things. I mean, he's predominantly pace, but at that level, he's got other things.
I
mean, he had pace obviously the last time he came back from injury, but it's just like, is another injury going to be? Might get to a point now where if he sees that there's a chance for like a run down the wing, he might think, he might be even like, a little bit put off because it's like, if I do this, like, is my knee going to go again? Or
so it might help him develop that other side of his game that we've said that he has to develop, because he might feasibly have to change his whole game. He might have to change the way he plays.
He's a raw talent, isn't he? I mean, I think the main knock on him was the fact that
he didn't get set up.
Yeah, he obviously had got very good basic things, but he didn't seem to have the other side of the game. He had no real football intelligence.
I mean, imagine if we'd have had Paddy McNair and Duncan Watmore fit for the whole season. We might not have got relegated.
I think it would have made a difference, definitely.
I think there was building blocks in this team to this season. If they've got things, got a goalkeeper sorted, got a decent goalkeeper in, and maybe another centre half, then there probably would have been more than alright.
That's one of the highlights of my season is somebody offering £100 for me a dress after I made that exact comment about Watmore and McNair. Do you remember?
I remember that happening, but I didn't realise what it was about.
Yeah. I'd literally posted a tweet saying McNair and Watmore would have made a big difference for us, and then this bloke just went fucking nuts.
Why?
I can't remember.
Was he a man?
Yeah. I called him a roid head, and I did it.
Oh, I think
no, but this was after he had a go at me and avid Roker Report viewer / listener / reader Hannah Brown, and was just calling us like every name under the sun. And then he was offering people money for my address. It was mint.
Did he get your address?
No, I told him it was number 6 Privet Drive, SR6 or something like that.
Isn't that where Harry Potter lives?
Yeah. Well, he doesn't live in SR6, but.
That's pretty spot on.
His last tweet he signed off was like, right, coming in the car now. So like my thoughts are kind of like, I hope he was sat trying to punch in like Privet Drive SR6 to her.
Can you get them on them flying cars, won't you?
Yeah.
So
a fucking owl.
You have to go to King's Cross, platform 9 3/4.
run into that brick wall, you roid head. Anyway, next season targets, we should be really looking to go up by like 110 points.
I think temporary a wee bit. I don't know if I think going up ultimately it's the aim. I think look at the teams that came down. Burton Albion, they're not the greatest football team. I had them down as the worst team in the league, even worse than us.
I like Nigel Clough though.
I like Nigel Clough as well. I think they'll be alright, but I don't think they'll necessarily go up. I think Barnsley, they have got a takeover. They have been backed by money. They're going to bring in a new manager. I would imagine Simon Grayson might be at the top of their shopping list.
We just left Bradford.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I can imagine. I think he'll fit quite well with a team like Barnsley.
It seems like Bradford offered him a new deal. He turned it down. The Barnsley job's up. I think that's a logical move for him. I think they've got a bit of money apparently as well, so I think that'll be them, and I think they'll be up there. I think Barnsley will be. Yeah. And then there's some of the Portsmouth didn't make the playoffs this season. I think they'll be there or thereabouts another season. They're a big club down there.
Team like you got those teams as well like Peterborough, who I know they won't have Jack Marriott who just scoring goals for fun. He'll be away, but they've got a good squad, and they've done this for like I know sort of 3-4 years in a row now, where they started well. They've sort of been top 6 on Christmas, and then just
the plummet.
Who's this Peterborough?
Yeah.
Is Ferguson still there? Darren Ferguson?
No, it's
is it not the player, the guy who's played for them, Grant McCann?
No, it's is it now Steve Evans?
Right. Where's Ferguson these days?
He's at Doncaster.
So
it will be they're in League One.
He left Peterborough about 10 years ago, didn't he? And I've just missed that.
No, he came back.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right.
And then it was Grant McCann, and then Steve
went
Evans.
To Preston, I think.
Yeah,
I think he was the one who took Preston down.
I see.
His last game at Peterborough was at St James's.
We'll move on to some Twitter questions.
The old Twitter questions.
We've got one from Graham Field, our mate Graham. Is there any of the players that the Roker Report lads would like to keep next season that might be a bit controversial, and why?
Ooh, good one, Graham.
That's a good question. Yeah.
That's a good question.
I will ponder while going, ooh, good question.
Padster,
great question.
He's always good value for a good question, Graham.
Oh, I love Graham. Graham, we need to go for a pint.
I think Graham should be on the podcast.
I know.
It was spot on for you. Like, next time I have us on the podcast, Graham, you can come on.
Yeah, definitely.
I think, maybe not controversial, but I know we've just mentioned him, but I think Jason Steele. I know a lot of people will probably think, we don't want him because he's one of the shite goalkeeper brigade who we've had this season.
Aye.
But I mean, to be honest, he's done more in those last 3 games than Lee Camp ever did. So that's got to be a plus. I know Camp won't be around
Premier League
next
goalkeeper
season.
now.
Keep talking, Paddy. Keep talking.
That's unbelievable.
I'm looking at the score. Come on, keep talking.
So I think Steele's definitely one up there.
Oh, there we are. I've got mine. Aidan McGeady.
Well, he'd probably light League One up, to be fair.
Yeah, definitely. I think also he's got that cut in his contract as well. Definitely keep him.
Aye. Right, I've got a question here from Jake Collinson. Is Bain a dead man walking with the impending takeover of Sunderland looming fast? Yes.
I do not believe Martin Bain will be here on August 1st.
Good fucking
absolutely.
But he'll be able to rest on his pay packet of 1.2 million.
He fell off his bike today, so I really do.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when they said how much he's been getting paid.
He's got a terrible job though. I don't know how he does it.
I saw a thing where he gets paid 1.24, and then the cost of all the staff he made redundant was 1.2. It's so realistically we could have employed them people and kept food on the tables and not had Martin Bain.
I'd hazard a guess at saying one of those staff members would have done a better job in terms of efficiency than Martin Bain.
I think one thing that's undeniable with Bain is
he's a twat.
He was offered the money and you would take it. Anyone would.
Yeah.
And he had a job to do and he was given a remit, and he may say that he did that successfully.
But he's not done it successfully, has he?
What I was about to say is the fact is he's oversaw a Premier League club and turned them into a League One club.
Don't be giving any sort of praise to Martin Bain on the show.
That Martin Bain deserves none. I was just being a bit, trying to give him a bit of a side.
Don't be magnanimous, Connor. Doesn't suit you.
I mean,
just call him what he is. He's a twat.
I'm wearing sunglasses.
Surely he's not
Different
gonna.
man.
He's not going to be able to get another job on this scale when, as you said, he's taken a Premier League team down to the 3rd division.
And he ruined Rangers.
I was just about to say,
that's
he
probably
was there at Rangers just before it went to shit.
Yeah,
so
that's probably something which a lot of other people don't realise. But it's it's not just Sunderland what he's been a part of the downfall in.
Bain is a dead man walking.
Sam says, "Would you keep Steele next season?" We've answered that. To be fair, I'm compelled by Padster's argument. I think I'd keep him.
I like him.
I hadn't thought about much coming into the pod, but having listened to what Paddy has to say,
realistically, actually, we've got Robin Reuter, who I think there's a keeper in Reuter. I think he's
thought
alright. Camp will be gone.
I saw him in a couple of pre-season games, and I thought he looked really good. And then obviously when Steele got dropped, then he came in. Then was it one game where
merry-go-round?
He conceded those 2 free kicks identical. Was it Millwall?
Yeah.
And they were just identical, just mistakes. How have you been able to do the exact same thing twice in 5 minutes?
I think again, just confidence goalie. I mean, the thing, he cannot be that bad of a goalie. He played in the Eredivisie for years, and we're playing in League One. And
do you remember? That's one of the highlights of this podcasting season, where I thought Robin Reuter was really young. It turns out he's 29.
I
thought when we signed him, we'd signed this young freebie that had just been cast aside, and it's oh no, he's actually 29.
He's just like me and Gavin. I think it was me and Gavin. I was like, what the fuck?
But nobody told me about it on the podcast, and you just let me get hammered afterwards on Twitter.
Well, the thing is,
it's 29, man, you daft cunt. Sorry,
it's one of them where at the time you're just like, maybe I'm wrong.
What's he talking about? Paul O'Leary says, dare I say it, but Steele has actually looked canny in the last 3 games. Seems to have grown in confidence, and that clean sheet yesterday could do wonders for him. Seems to be a confidence keeper. I've got my tin hat at the ready, but I'd keep him and start the new season with him. Well, Paul, we've got our tin hats on as well.
We do. I've got an actual hat on.
He has. It's not a tin one, though.
No, it's not. It's a snap of back.
George said in response to Paul O'Leary, he has, but he's been shite all season, mate, so personally I'd say not good enough. Maybe as a number 2, certainly not as a number 1 for me. And Paul O'Leary, I'm just reading out. This is actually good because Paul O'Leary says statistically he's actually been the best of the three, but as we've pointed out before, that's no mean feat, really, is it?
It's no real achievement.
And then Paul goes on to say, tough, that's like being the last to finish in a soggy biscuit game. I'm not quite sure what a soggy biscuit game is.
You don't know what soggy biscuit is?
Yeah,
I don't drink tea.
No, it's soggy biscuits a lot more sinister than tea and biscuits.
Oh, is it? Oh, fucking hell, I'm just there.
Have I missed something?
Yeah. Can I explain?
Yeah, go for it, Pads.
Basically, I'll have to say first, I haven't actually played it.
Disclaimer. Don't try this at home.
Gotta be safe, exactly. Basically, it's where a group of guys get around and they wank onto a biscuit. And the last one to finish has to eat the biscuit with all the discharge on it.
Play that way, yeah. Lads, you want to come over at the weekend? I've got a great game for you to play. Soggy biscuit.
You protest too much. You've definitely played that game. I can tell by your sunglasses.
Probably will come in handy, to be fair.
Well, that wasn't interesting. I think that's the first time we've ever talked about wanking on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I didn't think I'd be talking about that ever again, to be honest, especially not on a podcast. But
no. Well, we'll swiftly move on.
Yep.
Is there any more questions?
I'm just looking. No, not really. SCFC North Yorkshire says, "What do we do about goalkeepers?" Well,
it's a common theme that people are obviously very worried.
And then this bloke said, sign another 4 random shite ones for more the cost of a decent one. That's a fair point. Will we see John O'Shea and Lee Catmull in a Sunderland shirt again?
Well, John
O'Shea, probably not Lee Catmull, who knows?
If he contracted, who's going to buy Lee Catmull? Although I did see a Leeds fan being like, "Oh, I fucking love Lee Catmull." I was like, "Oh, go on then."
Did we do a 3-word review of the game?
No, don't think it went up. Maybe we can do our own 3-word reviews.
Well, that was just
maybe a seasonal one.
Fuck.
Paddy can go first, I think.
Well, it's a 3-word season review.
Yeah.
Absolutely fucking terrible. Really?
I'll go with. It's a tough one. There's loads of dead air while I think. I don't know, you go, Connor. I'm a foot white man. I'm doing it. I'm the host. Connor.
I'm gonna say diet freeway cola.
Right. Okay. I'm not sure what that means, but
it's just shit coke, isn't it?
I'm gonna say Martin Bain twat.
Martin Bain. It's difficult really to do a 3-word review. So many things have happened in the season.
So many things have not happened in the season as well.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just amazing. Like, just thinking back, just how I think everyone was just, we're going to the championship. Like, yeah, we're not going to set the world alight, but we might get mid-table or something. And then it was like, I was saying this the other day. I just think it got to when we lost at Bolton. I think before then I was just like, no, we're going to be okay. But when we lost that one, I was just like, no, I think
that was the time where I think we even did a Roker Report TV and we called it the relegation party. That Bolton,
I remember. Yeah, I remember.
Away game was.
I remember when we beat Burton away and we came in here and we were buzzing and Coleman had just been a point and I was like, playoffs, lads. if we don't make a push towards the playoffs,
the start's coming.
But again, it's one of those, like, another one of the false dawns this season, and it has been full of them. It's like,
I think that should be the podcast title, The False Dawn of a Season.
Because we've won it's like, we won at Nottingham Forest, then we had Barnsley at home like 3 days later, and we got turned over by them.
Horrendous that day.
They hadn't won in about 12 games, but they just came in.
The thing is, we only finished 6 points. 6 points is all we finished away from survival.
I know.
You think of them 28 points. You think of them 28 points we dropped from, especially under Grayson.
Yeah.
How many times we were leading and ended up drawn?
Yeah.
And we just continually did on him. I mean, if Grayson had turned 3 of them draws into wins, he would probably have stayed as manager, and I think we probably would have maybe just about kept it up. I mean, the issue with Coleman is he just kept shoehorning his stupid 3 at the back and it never worked.
It didn't.
And that was just the thing that infuriated me. I think everyone could see it by the end. But I mean, I thought from the opening, we'd be beaten with the 4 at the back, and I was like, stick with
enlightened,
I just loved it when he kept on playing Billy Jones as a centre half. It was just like,
why?
It's not working.
He's got to go, man.
Stop it. Yeah, that's another one. Like,
I tell you who needs to stay, Tom Beadland. They need to get his contract sorted out ASAP.
Beadland's a good player. Done well up in Scotland.
Stuart Donald needs to make that his top priority. If you're listening, Stuart.
Aye. It was 45 years ago this week since Sunderland lifted the FA Cup in the last major triumph for either Newcastle or Sunderland.
Very good.
Aye. And actually, I saw Bobby Kerr.
You sound a bit obsessed bringing Newcastle in that as well.
I saw Bobby Kerr and Mickey Horswell at work the other day.
Did you?
Aye, I think
Well, on a mate did.
having a drink, and I said hello to Bobby, and he didn't recognise us. I only met him the once, like, but
He had a haircut though.
not really. I've put on a bit weird.
You've not had a haircut since you met him.
Well, not a different haircut. You're just jealous of somebody that's got fucking hair.
That's why I'm wearing a hat. I love the summer because I can wear a hat.
You wear a hat in winter?
I could, but it doesn't. I get a hot head if I wear a beanie.
A beanie.
A beanie?
You'd look like... I always think like beanies look like someone's walking around with a condom on their head.
Well, I don't wear them. Specifically.
No, I'm not saying you do. I'm just fucking...
I wear like the...
Just wear shite sunglasses.
What's the normal hat? What's the normal hat called?
Snapback.
No, not one of them, man. Just
Cap.
normal
Just a
fucking
cap.
one you just put on your head
A
in
woolly
winter.
hat.
A woolly hat. A fucking hat.
Right,
Different types of hat.
we're talking shite now, so...
Why don't football clubs make proper snapbacks? I've always wondered
Because
that.
snapbacks are fucking shit.
Yeah, I know, but
Scourge
people
of
wear them.
society, man. What is the
The
point?
scourge of society.
You're one of these that'll wear a snapback backwards and then like fucking cover your eyes with your hand and be like, oh, the sun's in my eyes. I've never seen you do that. To be honest. I'm just trying to wind him up.
The first time I've ever worn one of these in this company.
That's an impression of what you'd do if you did do that.
I wouldn't.
Right.
I like wearing my snapbacks this way.
You look lovely.
Thanks.
Right, let's wrap this up. Thank you very much to Conor Bromley for coming on.
Thanks. It's
Paddy,
my pleasure.
Great debut, if I do say so myself.
Thanks for having me. It's been fun.
Hopefully you will be a regular in years to come. And big thanks to everybody that's listened to the podcast over this past season. It's been good.
I don't know. The thing is,
I've really enjoyed it.
when the podcast done now?
Well, I think we'll be coming back in the summer for different bits.
I know there's a World Cup podcast coming up.
I don't know what's going on with it.
Well, you're Welsh, so you don't give a shit about World Cup.
I'm probably going to be taking a more reserved role next year, moving on to pastures new. This will probably be my last podcast as host, and I'll be passing it on to, well, you, Conor Bromley, Alex McCain and Johnny Goldsmith can fight it out amongst themselves.
I'm not going to be fighting for it.
But I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really good experience in a really shit season. But you have commitments, didn't you? And you've got to kind of be coming into podcasts and arsing around with you when I've got to work for money.
It's true. Well, I think podcasts will be... I don't know what will happen. I don't know if we'll be in the studio or not.
But thanks to all the listeners, especially like the likes, well, the ones that have become like friends really and interacted with us. Graham, again, we'll mention you, Graham Field, and
well, I think we've
who
got
else?
that.
Cameron Johnson's always messaging. Paul O'Leary's one as well. Hannah Brown and
I think
Jake Collinson.
Because we've got that game on the pitch in May. I don't know if it makes sense. Maybe invite people along to come for a drink afterwards.
That's not a bad shot.
I think all the Roker Report lads will be out for a drink.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be the odd one who's with me saying, I need to go home, see the kids.
Yeah, well.
But, you know, for me, I'll be out. I'll be committed till 11 o'clock.
Like the last Roker Report night out.
I went home at 11 o'clock.
On the dot.
Because of the last metro.
I even offered him a place to stay.
And I've
offered them the spare room and don't know.
I would have taken that. I'll have to take it.
Bromley's not really a sesh head.
I'm not a sessioner.
Whereas if I go out, I'll go out for like 11 till 11 3 days later. Like,
yeah. See, I just can't do it. Sometimes James isn't like, you can't contact him for like 2 days. Like, I will not really contact James on like a Saturday night because I just know generally you won't get a reply.
I like to go missing because I have so much to do during the week that like come the weekend I just like to go.
See, the weekends where I catch up with all the stuff I didn't do in the week.
I see you need to be more productive during the week. Anyway, this is just talking absolute fucking shit.
People enjoy this, man.
Do you think?
People love listening about my life.
I don't think they do.
And your life. And the Padsters.
The Padsters.
Come on.
I've got plenty to say.
Well, just tell one random fact about yourself,
yeah.
Paddy. One random fact.
One random fact. I spent my 21st birthday in New York.
Oh, nice.
Always wearing the shirt.
That wasn't just like trying to rub it in that I've been in New York. I just wanted to put a white shirt on.
What was your best thing? I've been in New York before. What was your favourite thing in New York?
Best part of New York.
Was it cold?
Yeah, it was really cold. It was at end of March. So it was... Yeah, but it was...
Look at Copley, he's just jealous. You never been in New York.
You
hate it because they're capitalist Americans.
Aye, I didn't like capitalism.
Tories.
I didn't like capitalism and what? And what?
That could be your random fact. You used to be a communist, didn't you?
Well, I'm a socialist. I wouldn't say I'm a communist.
To be fair,
I believe in ethical socialism, Brom.
I'm
You're just a fucking Blairite.
I do like Tony Blair.
Fuck him.
I don't know. I wouldn't say anything.
Murderer.
I'm worse than him.
Try him for war crimes.
I'm just saying. Well, I just hate Tories, don't I?
I can't
The
stand
only
them, mate.
Labour government I've had is the Tony Blair one, so obviously I've got to be.
I know, but your sister's a Tory, you must hate her.
She's not a Tory anymore.
Is she not? I
No,
can't stand
she
the
used to be a
Tories,
business
mate.
owner, now she's not, so she's changed.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's Tory. I apologise to any Tory listeners, but actually no, I don't apologise to any Tory listeners. I don't apologise at all.
To be fair, it's funny in the Roker Report group chat, if you even like put something in that could slightly be construed as a conservative view, you're like, fucking Tory, get on the fucking group chat, fucking hell.
Got to be told.
Well, you always bite the Tories on Twitter, you're horrendous for it.
Well, I just don't like them. They go against my very fabric of existence.
I
it's
just think
against me culture. It's against everything I've ever known.
I just think it's like, I would never get upset about somebody's political views unless they're like a Nazi.
See, we could get onto a right old
A right old debate. Talking politics with James Copley.
Aye. Well, I used to be chair of the Marxist Society when I was at Swansea University.
See, that's too much.
Not chair. Sorry, what was it? I can't remember what it was. I was involved.
You were
in
the
it.
chair. Somebody sat on you.
Yeah. Somebody sat on it. But the chair was built by everybody for the use of everybody.
Aye.
For the many, not the few.
I think it was his birthday this week, wasn't it?
Karl Marx 200. Yes,
Yeah.
200 years old and still trending
Still
on
alive.
Twitter.
Well done.
Double century, no doubt.
Aye.
That's impressive.
Once smashed the window of a London pub pissed. What a guy.
Fair.
Anyway, thank you for listening. I've been James Copley, your host. Connor Bromley.
Thanks.
Say bye.
Been good. I'm looking forward to the World Cup podcasts.
Sound.
Maybe season
We
reviews.
need to do a Roker Report TV as well.
That'll not
Final.
be coming until after.
Not this week.
It'll be coming sometime. Maybe the 22nd of May.
Got a bit of uni work on, haven't we?
Aye, got a wee bit going on.
Aye.
So no, there'll be no Roker Report TV until after the 18th of May.
Find something else to masturbate over.
Aye. Hopefully people don't do that. What's that thing they do where you finish on your phone and you send it to the celebrity? What's that called? Yeah, I never heard of that.
What are you talking about?
You never heard of that?
You were getting on to him about biscuits. You know,
So there's been two jizz-related
what sort of
games?
Nah, you never seen that?
I've never heard
This
of that.
is the real reason why I can't commit to next year's podcast. Can't work with these idiots anymore.
Google it when you get in.
I'll give it a miss. Anyway,
I think it's called a cum tribute or something.
apologies to any kids listening. Apologies to any parents listening with the kids who are now
Sean will
fielding
just be
awkward questions.
laughing. I don't imagine you're listening. Oh, we'll put the podcast on that family trip.
Graham Fields, a dad man, he might have it on in the car.
You could be. Well, I'm sorry, Graham.
Right, anyway, goodbye. Thank you. Cheers. It's been a long, emotional season. Paddy, thanks for joining us. Connor,
Thanks for having us.
see you in a bit. He's got a mouthful of water.
Bye.
Dickhead. We'll post some pictures of his shite sunglasses and you can be the judge. Right, take care. Bye.